Alright, Preyton, I know you and I haven't seen eye to eye exactly, but let's see what you can do here for Slaanesh into one of the matchups that can be tougher for them, for sure. We're going into the Lizardmen here. I'll talk more about my build here in just a second, but my opponent, Pigman, going to be coming in with T'Challa, I still don't know. Comment down below. I actually won't see your comments before I record the next video, but that's okay. Pleasure Seekers also on the field. We've got some Hell's Riders, so some different cavalry, anti-large as well. Also some anti-large from the Preyton. Front line of devoted marauders. And then we've got some devotees of Slaanesh, which I don't know if I've actually talked about yet on the channel. Yeah, they've got dual hand weapons, at least the crossbow variant does. There's another one that doesn't have a crossbow. But they don't have a ton of ammunition, only 12 shots per volley. Basically similar attack profile to something like Shades, but even shorter range. And pretty good melee stats overall. There's one thing about them that I didn't realize. I mean, I knew they had physical resistance, but I didn't realize they also have 25% missile resistance, which means they're going to be surprisingly hard to counter-skirmish with regular missiles, getting up to 45% mitigation, which is pretty good overall. That allows them to kind of hang in there and trade on range, even though they are more expensive and are never going to be able to amass the volume of fire that other factions might. Not a ton of volume of fire from my Pterodon Riders, but I did take a few of them to support. Very classic build with a variation here. We've gone with the Salon of Death. I was saying if I could cheese out demonic units with the Doom and Darkness spell here, plus the Regiment of Renown, Dread Saurian, and Dread Aversion. So my idea here was to try and pop some demonic units like Pleasure Seekers, see if we could get them into demonic instability, with the Basildon to support, and then a couple of Saurus, some Skink Skirmishers as well. So yeah, I'm going to move in and see what I can do in terms of skirmish here. The Preyton also might chase me around a little bit in the air. But the unit I should focus fire on the most here is the Pleasure Seekers. They do have they have physical resistance, but no missile resistance. A little bit of a missile block chance, but that only applies to front missiles coming in from the front. So as they're kind of maneuvering away here, I feel like I have a good opportunity to maybe go chase and accrue some value there. Devotees are... And OBS crash real quick. Yeah, the Pterodon Riders, they're going to take a little bit of damage from the Devotees, but let's see. Right now I'm just going to use them mostly to screen these units in the back line, but the most effective thing I could do with the Pterodon Riders is probably just to fly over and drop rocks on the Devotees, and I should do it early on in the battle, but, you know, I'm going to pop that Aura of Pretzels for some extra armor and melee defense. I was going to unleash the Banishment, but it was kind of misplaced a little bit here. Pigman's going to wisely focus his damage on taking out the Rev Crystal first, just because the healing is going to be pretty impactful if he doesn't. T'Challa moves in. She's much faster than the Basildon, so I kind of have to move back to screen a little bit here. The Skink's also just going to absolutely get ran over by Pleasure Seekers, although I do toss the Blood Statue out of spite from the Slaanesh out there. Just doing whatever I can to try and get that unit down. But yeah, we do move over to do the drop rocks, but Micro's not exactly on point as they line up. Let's see if I actually drop the rocks in time to do meaningful damage. Yeah, I was hoping they would also be throwing directly down at the Devotees, but that's okay. Right now, Shield of the Old Ones popped. We're somewhat resisting the charges of these Slaanesh mobile units. The Saurus Spear is going to be a nice one for resisting here as well. And then, of course, the Shredder with massive single entity damage is going to go after T'Challa. Try and keep that honest there as well. Yeah, we did do the drop rocks, which did some damage, but then Preyton shows up to do some support, and I try to charge down just to occupy them a little bit here. But, yeah, of course, Devotees with very good melee stats. Probably a questionable decision on my part, but hey, if I'm not sacrificing Missile Cavalry needlessly in some context, am I really dog plays? Anyway. Yeah, we're going to get some nice action here in the big blob as the Slaanesh and the dinosaurs try and hold. It did some damage to the Devotees, but it was not enough to protect the Rev Crystal. Really should just move it back at this point, but we've got T'Challa kind of lurking in the back line here as well. Pleasure Seekers also going out to heal themselves while cleaning up some routing units. Doom of Darkness on them. Of course, they can just run away from the Shredder so they don't get hit by the combo necessarily. And yeah, things are feeling a little bit dicey here for me, but at the same time, you know, I've got the Slaanesh, Shredder's still got plenty of HP as well, so we're just going to focus on my priorities, which is to try and take out T'Challa. I mean, the Devotees have already used up most of their ammunition, and they pretty much only killed the Rev Crystal in terms of damaging my, like, high-value units. I mean, I guess they did also help the Preyton to deal some damage to the Pterodon Riders, which are still just kind of ignoring him for the time being. The Preyton up to 600 weapon strength briefly there. But yeah, the Endless Malice getting some pretty good buff there. It's actually, you know, when you're fighting units where you can get consistently low leadership, then he will get some good extra weapon strength there. But yeah, here's where, like, you can see the javelins from the Pterodons doing very little, actually, to the devotees of Slaanesh, which is unfortunate for me, but there you go. Shredder caught a little bit out of position, and that allows the Preyton to come in and get a good charge. The Pleasure Seekers as well, very well timed from Pigman here. Going to get a decent engagement on the Slaan, but Shredder shows up before too long to put a stop to it. And let's see if Preyton's going to get back up in the air before he gets killed. Yeah, he's definitely getting away from the Shredder. The Terror does kick in, though, as Zakala's nearby, not allowing those Soar Spears to hang in the fight like I need them to. But we're going to throw another Banishment and see if we can get these devotees off the field. They don't have any kind of spell resistance, so this is very much an ideal way of getting rid of them. I was sort of wishing I had just brought Lore of Fire or Lore of Metal, to be honest, to have better AoE damage options, but there you go. Death is still an option you can take, and the Banishment actually does roll over the Pleasure Seekers and get some damage on them as well. Will it be enough to save the Slaan as he is surrounded by them? Shredder gets a good hit on Dakala there, but Preyton moves in. I'm going to try and throw a Doom and Darkness on the Pleasure Seekers just before he routes. He actually does get off the cast. And will the Pleasure Seekers be forced into demonic instability? They're really just teetering on the edge of wavering right now. A few of the unit models. Oh, yep, there they go. Okay, they get hit by the missiles, and that's enough to get rid of their leadership. So, I mean, the combo kind of worked. I don't know. It would have probably just been better to cast Fate of Yuna on them. But anyway. Yeah, at this point, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm back in the game here. Preyton's alive, but I am very confident in the Shredder's ability to kill Preyton, so that's not a problem. And, you know, we've also got Dakala to take out here, especially if I can fight them separately. That's just fine by me. The Slaan does go down, unfortunately, though. So not great for me, but, of course, the Shredder is a Howdah unit, so in particular it has little skink machine guns on the back, and Dakala just absolutely running for her life, trying to get away. As she runs, she's going to get hit by those poison machine guns. And, you know, any other units that stray within range as well, like these devotees, will also be subjected to it. But at this point, it's just the Shredder versus the rest of my army. So let's see. Let's see what he can do. I'm going to turn around to try and fight here, but, of course, Shredder takes some time to turn around. But Preyton does get a couple of attacks in to get some value, but then wisely Pigman's going to cycle charge here, get back up in the air, reposition, get another charge, take advantage of the charge bonus. Preyton doesn't have a crazy charge bonus, but especially with the exhaustion and everything, but it's there. 31 extra charge would be helpful, trying to get through that melee defense. Shredder just shredding through remaining Dark Elves, and my own Pterodon Riders came in. They're going to basically be used to chase weakened and routing units at this point wherever I can, just to keep things from coming back. Not that it will really matter that much for the Shredder, but basically I'm just trying to avoid him getting distracted when he's fighting enemy single entities. But Dakala coming in, getting absolutely chomped here, but still getting some damage in the meantime. Yeah, the Shredder now dipping below about half HP. But the Pterodon's there. I decided to throw one in for a rear charge on the Preyton, see if we can distract some of his attacks. Unfortunately, I cannot. And the Shredder also having some buggy kind of stutter-stepping issues here. But let's see. A lot of this is going to come down to dice rolls at this point, because it's, you know, single entity fights. One attack roll matters a lot more than if you have like 100 dudes fighting 100 dudes. Then the attack rolls tend to even out through the law of large numbers. Here, unfortunately, though, Pigman's positioning is very nice in that he has one unit on each side here, so kind of have to split the attention. Because the Shredder takes so long to turn around, can definitely come back to haunt me. But let's see if we can just break Dakala here. Maybe one attack. Pursuit behavior is also coming in to haunt me right now, but we do manage to at least rout Dakala for the time being. Should I actually just chase her off? Hard to say. Can I even chase her off? Right now she's too close to actually be shot by the machine gun. Well, maybe she got hit a tiny bit there. But Yeah, the Preyton is going to charge and land, and I decide, you know, I guess I could try and get away from it on the ground here, but I decided to just turn around and fight. You see a big old attack lands there. I just need, realistically, like a couple of attacks to land, and this thing's going down in terms of leadership, so let's see. Right now, I'm going to keep the Preyton's health bar up so you can see like how many attacks I make or miss. There's another attack landing there, but at the same time, the Shredder's actually taken some pretty consistent hits from the Preyton. I mean, he's got 37 attack plus 20 bonus versus large. Yeah, it's like a 50% hit chance, but that 50% hit chance is feeling higher right now, at least to me. I'm like, wow, he is really hitting on a lot of attacks right now, whereas the Shredder getting staggered by the Preyton. Wow, look at that. A Shredder is such a size disparity. It's almost ridiculous. But Shredder does manage to get some attacks, but the fact that the Preyton has a faster attack interval, those little staggers right there, actually ends up basically costing me the game, as the Preyton beats the Shredder of Lustria. I cannot. Sometimes this game. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like, I mean, granted, Pigman played a great game there, you know, overall, had some really nice plays. I do feel like I kind of got screwed on dice rolls in that fight a little bit, but there you go. Preyton did a thing. And it's the first time I've seen a Preyton pay for themselves, and that was quite a game, I must say. Defeating the Shredder of Lustria is very impressive. Maybe I was wrong about Preyton's. Who knows? Leave in the comments down below your thoughts after seeing this. Devotees also both pay for themselves. Nice to see there. Pleasure Seekers pay for themselves. So ends up being a super close game, honestly. Across the board. For me, Sora Spears, nice support value there. They pay for themselves. Slaanesh also, just purely on damage, pays for himself. Again, I think I probably could have taken a better Lore of Magic, actually. I don't think that the leadership debuff is necessarily better than just dealing straight damage to them. At least the Pleasure Seekers and other kind of squishier units, but Shredder of Lustria also pays for itself. And then, yeah, I think had I been able to preserve the Rev Crystal and just get a couple of more heals on the Shredder kind of throughout the course of the game, I would have had the HP necessary there at the end to weather the dice rolls, help even things out, and actually beat the Preyton. But yeah, I mean, even like my my Pterodons, even though I misused them a bit, most of them end up paying for themselves as well. So there you go, very fun one for sure. Well played to Pigman. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.